This is Gemar Nedarim Daf Samoch. Hey, all the learning for this month, the month of Teves, has been generously sponsored by a close friend of the Daf as an incredible schos aliyah neshama for Yalev ben Yaakov b'siyata deshmaya. The learning the entire Chabura Daf by Daf, each word of Torah Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam should bring Rav Yalev and Rav Yaakov to a higher place in Gan Eden Shel Ma'ila. We're holding at the top of Samachei and Aleph. Apologies for the lack of video. Hopefully tomorrow that should be back up and running, but at least the audio and everything else is working, Baruch Hashem. So the top line of Samachei and Aleph, we're continuing the discussion about Moshe Rabbeinu, which we're learning from what the halacha is of being Meider Hana from someone and whether you need to be mater it b'fanav. Let's see the Gemara. Says the Gemara, the top line, Samachei and Aleph, Tanya, HaMeider Hana mechaveirei. And actually, I'm sorry, one more last public service announcement that we are having a wonderful fundraiser for our shul. Please look out for that link if anyone would like to contribute. Tanya, matirin ella b'fanav. So if you make a neder hana from your friend, you only are able to be makel, to be matir, to get rid of the neder b'fanav in his presence. Now, what exactly is the case is a large discussion in the Rishonim over here. Is this case only if you made a neder hana litzoyrech chaveiroi, for the need of your friend, like the Ran in the second line points out, or not? As we'll see the case of Moshe Rabbeinu in a moment. Says the Gemara, where do we know this din that you have to be in front of your friend? Amar Rav Nachman, Tichsev, it says in the Torah, V'yamar Hashem el Moshe b'Midyon. Hashem said to Moshe in Midyon, Lech shov Mitzrayim. Go back, return to where? To Mitzrayim. Ki meisu kol ha'anashim, because all the people that wanted to kill you have died. So Amar Lai, so explains the Gemara that Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu b'Midyon nadarta lecha. You made your, b'Midyon nadarta. You made your neder in Midyon. What neder did he make? He made a neder in front of Yisrael. V'hatar nidrecha b'Midyon. Therefore, go back home, go back to Midyon to be matir, to be makel, to get rid of your neder in Midyon. Why? So that Yisrael is there and you'll be matir, the neder, in front of Yisrael. Where do we see this in the Torah? Dechsev, 5 lines down, Samachei Amar Aleph, V'yoyel Moshe, which is the name of the Satmar wedding hall. But V'yoyel Moshe, I always wondered what the Vav was. It's from the Pasuk. Says the Pasuk, V'yoyel Moshe. And Moshe was Yoyel. What does Yoyel mean? It means, as we'll see in a moment, means to make a neder from the word Allah. In Allah, from the word V'yoyel, Ella Shavua. The word Allah is a Shavua. Terse V'yavai Isai Be'Allah. As the pasuk says that this is a different pasuk, not about Moshe Rabbeinu, but rather a pasuk about Nebuchadnezzar, and he brought him, who's the him, as the Gemara is going to explain in a moment, is Tzidkiyahu. He brought him Allah with a Shavua. So what do we see? As the pasuk says, V'gam Melech Nebuchadnezzar Marad, and Nebuchadnezzar, and he, also rebelled against Nebuchadnezzar, that made him swear by Hashem Chaim. So it says the Gemara, so we see that the word Allah is the same word as the word Vayoyel, and that's the reason why we're learning that Moshe Rabbeinu was Vayoyel Moshe. He made a neder in front of Yisrael. Hashem tells him, Lech shov Mitzrayim, go back to Yisrael, go back to Midyan, so that what? So that you're able to be matir the neder in front of Yisrael. And that is the source for halacha number 1 of the day of the top line of the Amud. Ha'moider hana mechaveiroi, if you have to be mekel, is befanav, in front of him. And of course, as we pointed out, the neder over here was litzoyrech Yisrael. That's the reason why some of our should learn that it's only a din if it's a neder, not only that's a neder, litzoyrech chaveiroi. Says the Gemara, Ma'amar Dute, what was the neder? What was the Ridia? What was the rebellion? What's this referred to? This is going back in the pasuk of Tzidkiyahu and Nebuchadnezzar. What was the rebellion of Tzidkiyahu? Says the Gemara, Ashchei Tzidkiyahu Nebuchadnezzar davika achal arneva chayo. Nebuchadnezzar was having a wonderful meal. You know what his meal was? His meal was a live rabbit. Nebuchadnezzar is sitting down to a wonderful meal of an arneva chaya. So one day Tzidkiyahu walks in and he sees Nebuchadnezzar chomping in to a live little bunny rabbit. I don't know if it was little, but either way. And what happens? Nebuchadnezzar sees that Tzidkiyahu sees him eating this wonderful rabbit. And Nebuchadnezzar is nervous. What's Nebuchadnezzar nervous? That Tzidkiyahu is going to tell everyone that Nebuchadnezzar is quite a barbaric fellow. So Amar Lei. So he says to Tzidkiyahu, Nebuchadnezzar says to him, Ashta Ba'ali. Swear to me that what? That you're not going to reveal. And you're not going to tell anyone what you saw over here. He makes Tzidkiyahu make a shvuah that he will not reveal that he saw Nebuchadnezzar eating this rabbit. Ishtaba, Tzidkiyahu swears. L'sayf, at the end of the day, I have a commit stire Tzidkiyahu b'gufei. Tzidkiyahu so badly wanted to tell people. Why did Tzidkiyahu want to tell people? He wanted to tell people so that he could undermine Nebuchadnezzar's rulership. And Tzidkiyahu was ill due to the tsar he had that he wanted to reveal, but he couldn't due to the neder. So it shall ashvuasei. So what does Tzidkiyahu do? He goes to the Sanhedrin and he shayel on the neder. And he asks the Sanhedrin if they could undo the neder. And what happened? They do. V'amar. And what happens? So Tzidkiyahu tells everyone that he saw Nebuchadnezzar eating a live rabbit in order to undermine the power of Nebuchadnezzar. Shama Nebuchadnezzar to come mevazin lei. So Nebuchadnezzar hears that people are making fun of him. Why? Because he ate a rabbit. Shalach v'aisi Sanhedrin v'Tzidkiyahu. Nebuchadnezzar is not a happy camper. He goes and he brings whom? Both the Sanhedrin and Tzidkiyahu in front of him. Amar lahoin chazitin Micah ovid Tzidkiyahu. And he tells the Sanhedrin, who originally Nebuchadnezzar treated them very nicely, as we'll see, he put them on golden chairs, etc. And now Nebuchadnezzar tells the Sanhedrin, do you see what Tzidkiyahu has done to me? Lav hachi yishtaba b'shma d'shmaya. Did he not make a shvuah d'loma gilna? Did he not make a shvuah that he's not going to reveal that which he saw? So Amrulei, so Sanhedrin said, Ishal shvuah say, yeah, he made a shvuah, but he was shayel on the neder, and we released it, and we were making on the neder. Amar lei. So Nebuchadnezzar says, Matilshan ashvuah say. Is that the halacha? Do you really let people be released from their nedarim? Amru leyin. Sanhedrin said yes. So Amar leho. So Nebuchadnezzar learn nedarim daf samachay. And Nebuchadnezzar says, what do you mean? What's the halacha? When you're being made on a neder, does it have to be in front of the person you made the neder in front of? So Amru lei. The Sanhedrin says, you're right. Bifanav. So Amar Lahain. So Nebuchadnezzar says, if it has to be in front of the person, what happened over here? How are you able to be made for the neder not in front of me? My taima layamrita leSitkiyahu. What is the reason you didn't tell Tzidkiyahu that you can't undo the neder unless I show up? So Miyad Nebuchadnezzar is upset. Yashu la'aretz Gidmu ziknei ba'asiyoin. He takes his Sanhedrin, he takes his ziknei ba'asiyoin, he makes them sit on the ground, he takes them off their fancy chairs. Amar Rav Yitzchak sheshamtu karim mitachtehem. What did he do? He removed the couches, the pillows, the cushions from underneath the Sanhedrin as he was upset at the way that they ruled. And this is a story. It's a story proving the dinner we just said that when one is Moizer no mechaverai, he has to be, if he's being matir, it has to be b'fanav. Continues, a little bit of a cold, 1 second. Continues the new Mishnah on the bottom of Samachei Amid Aleph. Rabbi Meir Oimer says, Rabbi Meir, Yesh Devarim, there are things, Shehein Kinoilan, Ve'ina Kinoilan. And this is a bit of a continuation of the end of the previous Mishnah, in which we learned the Machlokes. Rav Eliezer taught us, you yes are Paischem Benoilad, and the Chachamim disagreed. Comes along Rav Meir, and he says an interesting statement. There are times that something is like noilad, but not like noilad. Now, what exactly this means, we're going to see in a moment in the Gemara. She'ein kenoilad ve'ein kenoilad. Ve'ein chachamim maidim. The chachamim aren't maidim. So says the Mishnah Ketzad, what is such a scenario? Amar, if someone says, Koinam shani na'aseh p'loinis raviyara. Someone says, I'm not going to marry a certain girl because her father is bad. Amru lahi. And they tell him, guess what? Mace, that man has died. Aisha said tshuva. Or he's not ra anymore, he did tshuva. Or another case. I'm not going to enter a certain house because there's a bad dog inside of it. Or there's a snake inside of it. Amrulai. They tell the person, Mace, the dog has died. Or the snake has succumbed. They are like noilad and not like noilad. Ve'ein chachamim maidim loy. So the Mishnah already doesn't really explain what is this phrase shehein kin noilad and not kin noilad. So the Ran over here, let's look at the Ran. The Ran is 5 lines from the bottom of the Amid, says Visha ketoilen nidroy bedavar, because he hangs the neder on something. The kima damar shavia ra mashma. What does it apply? Calls ma shavia ra. Ulaviga kishameis also tshuva shari. So the Ran is learning that what does this mean? It's kinoilet and not kinoilet. Seemingly the Ran is saying that it's shari, that you don't even need to be shayil on it. We had a whole machlekes in the previous Mishnah. If a noilad, if a new situation is something that you're able to use as a Pesach, seemingly the way the Ran is learning, Rameir is coming along over here and he is saying that what? It's shari. You don't even need to ask on the neder. The Mefairish on the side of the page in the place of Rashi speaks out. Let's look at it for one moment. Shehin kin noilad. Says the Mefairish, did dami lin noilad. It's similar. Aval lehin mamish ina noilad upaischin mehem. So the Mefairish is learning seemingly a lower level. That what? That it's similar to noilad in the event that, but it does work. Works that what? It can be used as a Pesach. But you need to have that Pesach. Let's see the Gemara. Says the Gemara on the bottom of Samachay Amar Aleph. Says the Gemara, I don't understand. This is a classical case of Noilad. It's a new development. So how could Rav Meir say that this works? Amar Ravuna, Nasa ketoyle nidor bedavar. So we have 2 explanations of the Mishnah. Ravuna says, you know how it works? Because we make it as if he made his neder dependent on this entity. That the only reason he made a neder is if the father is ra, if there is a snake, if there is a dog. So if there's no snake, there's no dog, the father's not ra, the neder automatically implodes. Rav Yochanan Amar, a different tower. It's fine nuance. The Gemara is going to, of course, explain the difference. Last line, Tabachayim and Aleph. Kavar meis, kavar asa tshuva kamrile. Says Rav Yochanan, no. The case is that, not that the father does tshuva in the future, that the snake, the dog dies. No. The case is, says Rav Yochanan, that he finds out afterwards, guess what? The snake already has died, the dog already has died, or the father has done tshuva. So at the time of the neder, explains Rav Yochanan, there was no neder, because in reality, there was no snake, there was no dog, or the father already did tshuva. So 2 explanations of what the din in the Mishnah is, and as we turn over to Samachayim and Beis, we're going to see what exactly is the difference between these 2 answers. Masiv Rav Abba asks Rav Abba, Kainim sheni nais leblainis, ki oira. If someone makes a neder, I'm not going to marry this person who is ugly, varina, guess what, she's beautiful. Shechayr, I don't want to marry her because she's a dark complexion, vayilavana, and she's light. Kitzara, she's short, varirucha, and she's long. Mutter ba. Says this Braisa, says this Mishnah, this is the Mishnah from tomorrow's Zaman and Daf Samach Vav. This is the end of our Mishnah, very important detail. Says the Mishnah, they're mutter, he's mutter to marry her. And the Mishnah now explains why. The reason is not because she became beautiful, she became light, she became tall, but rather Ella. Shahaneder ta'us. The reason is that the neder was a ta'us. So now the Gemara explains the question. The first teretz of Rav Huna that he said it's as if he hung the neder on a matter. Tana, so the Mishnah now is explaining that first our Mishnah explains the case A when you hung the neder on something. Vitana neder tayis. Now Mishnah 2, the end of this Mishnah we just quoted, are teaching me a neder that was a tayis. He made a mistake. She wasn't ugly. She wasn't tall, short, etc. Ela Rav Yochanan, everyone already can anticipate the question. The Amar Kvar Meis Kvar Tshuva. Rav Yochanan learned that our Mishnah was this exact case. The guy's already died. He already did tshuva. It's already beautiful. Lama li lemisti treis in the neder ta'is. The exact same case 2 times. Says the Gemara. Good question. Kasha, and we leave it with that. And we begin the next Mishnah of Aydam Ramir continues talking. About 13 lines down. Says Rameir, we make a Pesach for that which is written in the Torah of Aimrim Lo, and we tell the person, either you idea if you would have known Shat Over Al, that by making this neder, you know you're being over on. Lo Yisakum, you're being over on, that you should not take revenge. Val Lo Sitar, and you're being over not to hold a grudge. Val Lo Sitar, not take your friend in your heart. And as well, to love your friend like yourself. And as well, that your brother should live with you. Why is it shuani? Because the person you made a neder, what if that person becomes poor? So you're going to be over on the asay to be let your brother live with you, meaning to support him. And Amar, if after hearing these psukim, the person that made the neder says, Ilu yisi, if I would have known this, shukein lo yisi neder, I would never have made a neder, harei zeh mutter. That is a good Pesach, and they'll be mutter. So continues our Meir in teaching us that we have another category of Nedarim, that we could get rid of the Neder if the person, by hearing all the different issues that he's creating by making the Neder, the fact that you're over on holding a grudge and hating your friend and not being able to support him, etc. He says, if I would have known that, I would never made the Neder. That is a good Pesach, says Rameir. Says the Gemara Amlei, Ravuna Bar Ketinu Rabbanon. Ravuna Bar Ketinu said to Rabban, Nema called him Ani Lava Lai Nafil. Says Ravuna to Rav Ketinu, I don't understand. The Mishnah makes it sound like Chaya Chichi Imach, that if this person turns poor, you're over on Chaya Chichi Imach because you have a personal obligation to support him. Says Ravuna Bar Ketinu, I don't understand. Why doesn't he say, called him Ani Lava Lai Nafil? The support of every person comes to me. My demati li. Whatever I'm able to support, I'll give to everyone. Why doesn't the person that make the neder say simply, what's the problem? I'm over because this guy's poor? No, I'm not. I'm still going to give money to the communal tzedakah fund, and then let this guy be supported from there. Why do I have a personal obligation to support him? So Amar Le explains the Gemara, Ani Oimer Kol Neifel Eino Nafel Lidei Gabai Techila. So answers the Gemara, they say to this man that anyone who falls into poverty does not immediately go to the Gabei Staka. Meaning, the reason you're over in Chayei Chichimach, and this is a bit of a chiddush in Hilchei Tzedakah, is that when one becomes needy, he becomes poor, does he immediately call up the Tzedakah fund and say, I need money? Of course not. First, he relies on his friends and family. And this guy who made a neder is part of the friends and family. So if you, the person that made the neder, part of this person's friends and family, does not go and support him, you're over Chayei Chichimach. I let him go to the communal fund. He's not holding it going to the communal fund. He didn't go there yet. And that's the reason why you're going to be over Chayei Chichimach if you do not support him. If you made a neder, you're not able to support him, and that's the reason why this would help as being a good Pesach. We continue towards the bottom of Samachem and Beis with another Mishnah. Says the Mishnah, this is going to bring us back to our Ksubas days. You know what another Pesach is? Based on his wife's Ksuba. What does that mean? Someone made a neder from his wife, Ksuba said, Tof dinarim. And the Ksuba was 400 dinarim. This person made a neder, he can't get any enough from his wife. So what happens? He has to divorce her. Why does he have to divorce her? Because every man has a biblical obligation to give his wife hana, the conjugal obligations. And therefore, since he can't give that to his wife, he has to divorce her. Great. Well, not great, but okay, he divorces her. Comes along, and now she says, okay, you're divorcing me, you need to pay me my ksuba. How much is the ksuba? 400 dinarim. So he comes to Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Akiva says, guess what? You got to give her 400 dinarim. Amar Loi says, man says, Rabbi, to Rabbi Akiva, Ches me dinar mini chaba. My father left me 800 dinarim. Notal achi dalin meyois. My brother took 400. Vani dalin meyos, and I took 400. Loi dayosh ati dalhima sayim anima sayim. So let my ex-wife, the woman I just had to divorce, let her take 200, and I'll take 200. I have to lose everything to this woman. Amar Loi Rabbi Akiva responds, I'm sorry. Even if you would have to sell the hair on your head, you have to give her a ksuba. Amar Loi, so man responds, if I would have known this, I would have never made a neder. And look at that, V'etira Rabbi Akiva. And Rabbi Akiva annuls the neder based upon that detail once he hears that the person would have never made the neder. A little bit of a parenthetical point. Now he could give his wife hana. I guess that means he could remarry her. I don't see the Mefarshim here discussing in practicality what would happen. Okay, let's leave it with that. Says the Gemara, 1 second. We have a ksubas problem. We just said that this man has $800. Brother took 400, he took 400, he's obligated to give his wife the whole 400. Ask the Gemara, metaltlin mi mishtabdi l'ksubalsa. What? Cash? Cash is mishubah to ksuba? No, it's not. Amar Abayo, karka shava ches meyos dinar. No, it means it was land worth 800 dinar. Ask the Gemara 1 second. V'ktani saroi shai. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Akiva said you even have to pay from the hair on your head. V'saroi shemetaltlinu. That's metaltlin, and that shouldn't be mishubit. Hachi Kamar explains the Gemara. Afilu atamoyicher saroi shecha v'oichel. Even if you're going to have to sell the hair of your head to be able to eat, meaning you have to give everything for the ksuba. You're going to have nothing left. Okay, so take all your metalton, even the hair of your head, and sell that to support yourself. So says the Gemara, okay, but we see from here, Shemas Mina, from here we see a fascinating din. Ein misajin lebal chayf. It seems like from here we're going to see a klal. Let's say someone owes someone else money, and by paying back the chayf, he's going to have absolutely nothing, not even the basic requirements. So it's the machlekes elsewhere, most notably in Bab Mitzia. Are we misader lebal chayf? Do we make an assessment for one who owes someone else money and we say to him, okay, you owe the man $1,000, but if you give him the $1,000, you're going to have not enough to support yourself. So we let him leave for himself X amount in order to be able to support himself. Do we do that? So it sounds from our Gemara that no, we wouldn't do that. Because we're seeing over here that he even has to pay her on expense of the hair of her head. Answers the Gemara, Amar Anach Bar Yitzchak, as we turn over to Samach Vavam and Aleph momentarily, Loimar she'ein mikarin shtar ksuba. No, you know what Rav Akiva meant? Rav Akiva just meant that even if you'd have to pay the 400 dinar, you would have to, meaning we don't tear up the ksuba document. The woman holds on to the ksuba document and she'll be able to collect from it. And it's true, if right now in order to pay this woman, you're going to lose every penny that you own, right now you will not have to pay her. But eventually you'll have to. That is the end of the Gemara. We'll pick it up in the Mishnah on the next year. B'siyata dishmaya.